Hello everybody, my name is Rakim Johnson. I'll be presenting my project today. The project is called Low Brass Outreach and Networking Event. Next slide please. Alrighty, so the plan was to have a series of events, playing events for low brass players, like myself. I play tuba, and play and meet and interact. It was supposed to happen over 4 successive Mondays in mid-February to late March. And then the meetings would last between an hour and an hour and a half. And in those meetings we play together, we speak to one another, network, exchange information, and just overall get to know each other a little bit better. All right, so the issues that I wanted to address with this project were a lack of camaraderie. I felt as though the lower classmen at my school were not speaking to one another and really didn't have the kind of relationship that I had with my peers when I was their age. In my opinion, COVID had a big part to play in that. And as such, I wanted to help them make the connections that they need to have to succeed going forward. Next slide, please. So, unfortunately, the event did not occur. I proposed it to administration and it was initially approved, but there were some factors outside of my control that led to it not to be able to happen the way that I had originally intended it. So instead, I attempted to network with them individually and get them to also talk to one another. So we had lunch together, we had breakfast together a few times, and then additionally to that, we played basketball. Things that they like to do, while also making sure that we were able to build relationships. I also made myself available in the form of a donation of my time to the junior jazz band. I got together with the director and I met with them on Wednesday nights every day since the end of January. And I felt as though that kind of helped them to meet, get to know me, understand kind of the culture that we've built at the school, and also to build their own culture at the school, to make their own legacy. Thank you very much.
I'd love to invite the audience to ask a maximum of 2 questions. 2 questions, if you so choose.
What did you learn the most?
I learned that you have to meet people where they are. At first, I really wanted to do things that I thought would be fun, but for me, and what I observed for them, is they were more receptive when they were doing things that they like to do, which was like playing basketball for them. So.
If you could do it again differently, what would you do?
I would try to focus initially on meetings that were not tied to school. Kind of meetings that had to do with school relied on other folks to approve them, and that didn't necessarily happen, so I would focus on outside of school. All right.
How's it going, everyone? My name's Peter.
My name's Brianna.
My name's Water.
And we did a presentation on the school to prison pipeline for youth and younger generations.
So basically what we did, or what we plan to do, is basically talk to younger youth about the prison pipeline. And we, unfortunately, things did not go as planned and we couldn't meet with the youth in person. So we had to ask for help from Lisa. And we actually did a Zoom meeting where we had youth, most likely Flint, and we just had a presentation for them. We also wanted to invite a police officer, maybe have like a different perspective as well. We also couldn't get that, unfortunately, through other circumstances, but yeah, that's what we kind of did.
The reason why we did this was personal, negative interactions with law enforcement and authority figures. I feel that, well, me personally, the last few years have been very hard seeing things in media that people who look just like me go through with policing and authority figures. Also, personal experience I've seen in schools myself where students who little things like fist fights or dressing a certain way turned into them ending up a year or two ending up in the criminal justice system. And I wanted to educate children on like appropriate reactions with law enforcement and authority figures so that they're not ending up in situations like that.
And the impact of the whole presentation itself was honestly, to our expectations, a little underwhelming. They did have some good questions to talk to us and really, at a point, connect with us and how their thoughts of the whole situation is and how it came up and how they believe that law enforcement should be policed in their schools. But because it was a little underwhelming for how much they actually did participate, for us honestly was a learning experience and to better how to in the future better communicate with the young generation and how to get them actively involved even through COVID times where everything is online.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
What would you do to generate more interaction?
I wish that we could have done this more in person. I feel like because it was through online, a lot of people felt like shy, like they weren't really comfortable turning their cameras on or actually even talking. They didn't feel comfortable enough. I feel like if we were more in person, we could connect people with them and everybody would get an opportunity to share their thoughts.
What kind of preparation did you do before the meetings? Like, did you do your own research? And how was that?
So we basically did do our own research. We're all in different locations, so it was kind of hard to get together. But we all did kind of our own research and just brought up ideas about it and just kind of came up with the presentation. We looked up. We had videos. We had a lot of resources. But
And for me personally, my source mainly was, I'm taking a class right now, American Since 1980s, which talks about how this even began and zero tolerance rules, and that's where I get my information from, which really helps me get
Hi, my name is Denise Weston, and I go to Cardinal Spelman High School.
Hi, my name is Franny, and I also go to Cardinal Spelman High School.
Hello, my name is Jason, and I attend Bridgewater Raven High School.
For our medallion project, we decided to do a toiletry and feminine product drive for homeless women and teens in shelters in Brockton. And the reason behind the project why we chose to do this because in our school, seniors are required to be in a ministry, and our ministry is solely focused on service. So I brought up the idea to our teacher, and she actually turned it away because she thought it was kind of too much of a dicky topic to talk about in our Catholic school.
Yeah, so speaking more on that, we shouldn't feel like women or people with feminine presenting traits shouldn't be afraid to be able to talk about their periods or health, hygiene. Everyone should be able to, come to a unanimous agreement that hygiene is important for each and every person.
And how we improve the community is, most people are not fortunate enough to have the capabilities of buying products to keep themselves clean. So we wanted to create this way of donations for people to have good hygiene. And we have got over 300 donations, and we're still continuing more to, we actually have a church and a daycare involvement where we're getting more donations to donate to others.
Any questions?
What's any feedback you heard about the donations and people using what you have and so forth?
So actually, one of the places we donated to was the Joseph Center, YMCA in Brockton, right near my parents that I decided to connect with to actually put them in for donations, and they were ecstatic when we called them and told them how much products we had.
That's great.
I know you're working with a daycare and a church. Is this something you hope that they continue through the years and after y'all leave and go on to different secondary journeys?
Yeah, definitely.
tutor at our school, Rockton High, and we mainly did it to the underclassmen, and we did it in Spanish. We decided to do this because we saw that the underclassmen were struggling a lot with communicating their academic needs, and we hope to have impacted them academically positively, and we hope to have inspired them to help others as much as they need. Any questions?
Over like what period of time was this happening? Was it like a one-time thing? Or was it like
No, it was every day. Every day during school, but our free time.
What was your biggest struggle with the tutoring?
We saw that some of the students were not as involved or did not want to participate, but we tried to get everyone involved.
Hi, my name's Anthony.
I'm Journey.
And I'm Keem. And for our project, we created positivity boards around Tech Boston to create a positive environment for the youth. We highlighted certain youth throughout the grades 6 through 12 and tried to make them feel proud of our school environment, because some do feel ashamed of the things that happened before.
Yeah, so adding on to what Akeem said, our school does not really have a good reputation in the media. We go to Tech Boston Academy, which is in Dorchester. A lot of things have happened in our school, and we just want to make these boards to highlight some students and just make sure that we're to show the greatness that we have at our school, because we are great students and we are great seniors, and we want people to know that.
And our major goal was to make sure that as seniors, we're letting underclassmen know that they're in charge of their own narratives and that their goals are achievable regardless of the circumstances around us.
And all in all, we want to make sure that students are motivated to keep working hard, keep creating a positive image around Tech Boston. And yeah.
Have you guys heard any sort of reactions or feedback from some of the younger students that have impacted the way that you guys feel about this ground and stuff?
Not yet, only because when we started it, it was kind of like school was kind of ending, like for break. So when we had everything up, and it was just like no one, they haven't really seen it yet. But when they come back, they're gonna come back and see all the stuff. So they're like, oh wow, look, the seniors now they've gone to these good colleges. You know, like that.
There was also a senior who did see it. He looked super happy.
Yeah, he was happy. It was over.
How have teachers reacted to it?
They were excited to know that that's something that we wanted to do, but they're really gonna see it once we get back from break, because we're in April break right now.
Yeah.
But they were happy to know oh, we can send this email out and students could respond to our Google Doc and be on the boards.
Good.
Would you guys ever consider expanding outside of Tech Boston?
I mean, I feel like we can, but we have to target specific communities. So we could target Tech Boston Academy. We could also target Dorchester, because Dorchester is not. I mean, it's a good community, of course, but there are some things that happen in that community that we can definitely put stuff around and say, hey, look at what this person has done, or look at what these students are doing. And there are other schools in Dorchester that we could probably highlight, but we don't know for plans like that yet.
Two-part question. One is, what do you think the root cause of those negative perceptions are that you guys are trying to address? And if you had unlimited resources, what would you do to try to address those negative perceptions?
To answer your first question, I feel like some of those negative aspects just come from people not knowing what actually goes on inside of our school. So they see whatever happens outside, or whenever something happens at our school, the news comes straight up, and they say things that are just all negative, and they don't know exactly what happens. They don't know who we are. Like, we all go to the school, we're all great. And so they don't really know exactly what goes on in school, and they only focus on sports. Most people are at school, so again, like the academic piece, they don't understand.
So if I gave you a check for $1 million, what would you do to try to overcome those negative perceptions? You're not even you need a check for it.
I would say like we would want to paint all of our hallways like how we did these 2 boards, because a lot of them are empty. Like these boards here, they were empty beforehand. So if we had like more resources, we would do every board in our school to make sure that students know that they're highlighted. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry about this, but is there anything you do externally? That's what I'm trying to get at, because you talked about the perception that people externally have of you. So is there anything that you would want to do facing outward?
I mean, I feel like it's more of a like in our community. We know what's going on in our community, and it's like a negative perception. So if we have the resources, I mean, if they want to come to our school and like see the community that we have, maybe.
Cool.
So.
Good. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Destiny. I'm a student at Norton High, and I advocated against homelessness with a state representative. So essentially what the meeting was for was to eradicate homelessness through the cause of the pandemic and to reallocate funds through different bills. So the first bill was the RAF bill, hence the rafting and rallying title, pun intended. So basically what we were aiming to do was to help people who were without homes and who were struggling to pay their bills throughout the pandemic, and to reallocate funds that would help prevent that or decrease homelessness in the midst of COVID. So we had a training day where they kind of prepped me and like told me what was going to be going on. And basically what that consisted of was just hearing a bunch of like professionals and people who have experiences with homelessness, especially through the pandemic, and just really helping me get my facts together, and that was very eye-opening. And then we had the actual legislative active day, and basically that's when we had state representatives and state leaders kind of like listen to all of people's experiences and really just practicing what the bill was for and how we could make progress. So these are some statistics, because basically like I like advocating, and I like advocating for social work, but I never advocated against homelessness before, so this was actually kind of different for me. So I really just wanted to get motivated for my cause, and so I found these statistics. So 38% of the homeless population in Massachusetts is made up of African Americans, 61% are males or boys, and 20% are children. And these stats go up every single day, which is very unfortunate. And so yeah, so when I was in the meeting, it was actually virtual, so everybody that wanted to come could come. It was really just interesting to see like how like outside like influences really stigmatize homelessness and what it is. And I don't really mean to sound redundant, but like people without homes are still people, you know, and they're not really seen as that. And these people that were in this Zoom meeting were really, really sweet, and they had like families and children, and were just really just struggling, and it was really hard to see, but I felt like it was very eye-opening, because even subconsciously you like adhere to narratives and like what you see, and like just even like out in your day-to-day lives. And I don't know anybody that has personally struggled with homelessness, and these people were so sweet, and their kids said hi, and it was just, I don't know, it was very eye-opening. And I wrote stigma sees success, because ignorance is not good. So these were the goals for the day. So we wanted to give people who didn't have homes like access to ID cards and like things that they need to go about their day and help get jobs and work, things like that. We wanted to, yes, we wanted to basically expand the bill for funding for homelessness, and to reallocate funds from last year's bill to year 2022. Which I heard is making very good progress, which is very nice to hear. And we wanted to pass a bill of rights for people who are experiencing homelessness, because they deserve some action and someone to speak for them as well. And so, I mean, I guess the overall goal was just impact. So I talked to state legislators who will talk to their people and do bill making and all that other stuff. But overall, I mean, I think I had impact on myself, and just hearing and listening to other people. And even though this was just like the first step into action, I'm very proud of what I did, and I'm very proud of what other people were talking about, and I'm very proud of my work. in a very privileged community. So with my experience, I was actually able to like share that with them, even though like they didn't really take part in it. And they actually went out and did some like advocating like in marches or whatever, following weeks and months, which was really cool to see. Or even just in our own like community. And overall, I just feel like, I don't know, people often think that like impact has to be like this really big, huge thing, and it really doesn't. Like just that small step was like, I don't know, like a chain reaction to a whole bunch of other things. And so yeah, and it's all about perspective too, which is nice. Yes.
Like, after you've done like this project, you need to be like following up with it.
100%. 100%. I actually have some contact information with some of those lovely ladies who are speaking in the Zoom, besties now. So, like I said, it was really refreshing. Like, these are like real people with real issues, and they're just really struggling, and like, not in like a rude way, but like, that's it. Like, that's all it is. It's like, not that it's nothing special, but it's not this horrible, like they're horrible people, and they're lazy, and they're this and they're that. It's just unfortunate circumstances, and they're really sweet, and they're really nice. So, yes, I will be keeping up, and yes, I do keep up. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Vincent. Most of you may know me. For those who don't know me, I attended Mission High School in Boston, Massachusetts, and my platform is known as 60-second snips, but that's beside the point. Let's go to what the goal was initially. Well, the goal for me, honestly, was to spread awareness to social as well as systematic issues going on within our world, and I've done that in the span of 60 seconds or less, as I feel like time is very valuable for all of us, you know? You don't want to spend your time on doing something you typically don't want to do, as well, driving, waiting in long lines. So I did 60 seconds, for consistency. But besides the point of that, I feel like education is a valuable thing for us, as growing up in a family of mostly teachers and educators. Why not combine the two as education and time, and combining 60 seconds or less? For me, personally, over COVID for the last 2 years, I feel like I've been a couch potato, just on my TikTok scrolling, YouTube scrolling, and not doing much in my life. But I use that to my advantage. I realized that people, scroll on TikTok, but they typically just scroll, don't learn much. And I feel like we have the responsibility to impact our work in a positive effect. So I thought that I should spread awareness to the issues so many people in the society can learn about these issues and take their own action. As I have over 14,000 engagements with my project, and most of them donate to all these causes. Typically, it's like for me, I'm not the one really doing much, but most people are doing more than what I can expect. But personally, I feel like I also learn from this project, as I now engage than ever before. Well, yeah. Next slide. So what? Why did I do it? I mean, educators, yada, yada. But why is it important to me? Well, I want to become a teacher, and for my first step to becoming a teacher, I need to educate people. And to do that, I need to start small. I need to start little. But anything of that, I genuinely feel like education is top priority in society. Education and knowledge is more powerful than any amount of money in our world. And to do that on a smaller scale obviously helps me, but I feel like it's fueling me to not be physically ready for the world, but mentally as well. And I mean, obviously impact 1,300, now 1,400 people. And I feel that I'm slowly gaining traction, and this is a project I want to do even after C5 in my post-secondary life. I generally had fun with it. The typical plan was to start off one video per week and just slowly over time. But after doing my first test run, I want to do it again, and again, and again, and again, and it got to the point where I posted mostly daily, just for fun. And I really had fun doing this, as I feel like I really impacted people deeply, as I now have a bunch of comments saying, wow, I did not know this before, wow, I really want to do something with it. To be the person that I hear words saying, you impacted my life, is more powerful than anything to me. And next one. And my takeaways. Personally, I feel like I could have done more with the project. I could have just extended past profiles and platforms and go into real life. But because of COVID, I couldn't establish myself in a setting where I can have a bunch of people gathering at the start, obviously from December. But will I continue? Yes, obviously. But I learned more about the world than I started with the project. And I feel like no matter how much time you have in the world, it can take 60 seconds out of your day to learn something new.
Did you surprise yourself in terms of the effect of having you?
Well, this was new to me at the start because I wasn't really into the video formatted field, as I was quite nervous about doing it. But when it came to searching the topics, I was so interested in what these topics had to offer. I didn't know this or I didn't know that. It came to the point where I started to question, if I didn't do this project, would I ever learn about this? Because we're typically in high school or in our daily life, we typically only learn stuff on the news or in books or courses in school. But to go out your way to read on such topics that you'll never think you would ever read before, it's pretty interesting because the internet is like everything's online to be seen, but yet we don't want to see it or we never have the time to see it. But with this project, I'm going on my way to actually do this type of stuff, which personally inspires me to keep doing this. Thank you.
Could you give some examples of some of the topics that you were exploring?
Yes, thank you for the question. So one of my topics which I was very inspired to explore, well, it had to do with before the Ukraine-Russian conflict, and I learned about more of the Ukrainian economy before the war, and I also discussed the impact of the Russian implication on the war. But not only that, I also learned more about Nigerian conflicts as well as stuff that's been going on within their own world, and I feel like, how come we're not talking about certain things online, but yet we're always emphasis on stuff that's on the news or on social media? It's like stuff like that. Yeah.
What was your most engaged with video that you posted? Like the highest comments and likes and stuff?
That's a hard one because most of my videos are very consistent. But I think it has to be around like mid-February when I was on break, because that's when I was doing like pumping out videos, and there was a video that has to do with it has to do with Egypt, and most of the comments were like, now I want to go there, now I want to do this, now I want to do that, and some comments some comments were so helpful because when I first started publishing or uploading videos, I was a little sloppy when it came to the video format, as I didn't have captions, my background was off, I didn't really have to do a script. But comments like those, like, oh, you should have captions, background, and script, it made me inspired to do more with my videos, as typically it took me around an hour to make a video, but now it takes like 2.5, 3 hours just to make a video.
I go to Brockton High, and for my Medallion project, I present the project Together We Rise. So what is my project? So basically what I did is I held a fundraiser at my school, Brockton High. It was in conjunction with another service project that I had to do for the National Honor Society. So as vice president, it was my responsibility to make a proposal to my administration and all that to basically be able to raffle off 5 different baskets to the student body and be able to donate the proceeds to the organization Together We Rise. So what is Together We Rise? Together We Rise is a nonprofit organization for foster care children. Basically, their mission is to provide better lives for children who feel neglected because of having to go from house to house without a suitcase, putting their stuff in trash bags, not having like their own personal belongings. So my goal was to be able to donate whatever money I made from that to go to those children. And additionally, I wanted to encourage more community action at Brockton High, because this year, as you know, we're all seniors, or my classmates were seniors, and for college applications, a big thing that a lot of my peers were missing was community action and community service. And being in C5, I've had the opportunity to have a lot of hours and have those stuff to put on my applications, but a lot of my peers didn't, and I wanted to be able to help them get more engaged and just simple things. Like, you don't have to go out and do a whole thing, like just donate and participate.
So what was my impact? The raffle is going to be held next week actually when we get back to break, but based on past like similar raffles that we've done, we are expected to raise $500, and as part of the National Honor Society, I was able to get my administration to match whatever proceeds that we make from the raffle to also, so if we make like $500, we're gonna be able to donate $1,000 to Together We Rise, and what they're gonna do with that money is use it to construct bags, like duffel bags for children, even buy them suitcases, things like bicycles or college supplies. So yeah, that was it. Any questions? Well, actually, because the service project was in conjunction with the National Honor Society, it was a group meeting that we had as a club on which organization we wanted to donate the money to. It was between foster care, homelessness, and then there was another foster care like organization that we wanted to donate to. We specifically chose Together We Rise because of their setup that they have on their website. We're able to donate. So if we have $1,000 and we want to donate duffel bags to the children, the duffel bags cost $25 to make. So with those like numbers, we're gonna be able to donate more, like give more to the kids. So that's like 400 duffel bags versus another organization would only be able to give them the money, and we're not exactly sure what they're gonna do with that money.
Hello, my name is Ren,
Hi, I'm Alyssa Morales, and our project is El Jardín de Crecer.
which translates to the Garden of Growing. So you might be asking, what is it? El Jardín is an animated podcast series in Spanish that teaches life skills such as applying to college and filing taxes.
We have a wide range of different characters that are all based on garden materials to inspire growth, and our characters are all named like Sol, Sombra, Terra, Flor, and Agua, which are different things like sun, shade, different things like that. They have both Spanish and English subtitles to increase accessibility for people who are learning English and maybe want to polish up their Spanish as well.
We also plan to post it on YouTube, Instagram, and other social media platforms so we can take advantage of the spread of information through social media.
Our goal is to have a simple and direct guide for us to follow and for other people and immigrant families to be able to look at and be able to understand resources that may be at their disposal already.
Especially when you break down these life skills, such as applying to college, they can be very overwhelming processes. So by using visual and audio learning styles, it makes it easier to digest.
So now what? We want to post this series on social media gradually. We want to make sure that our content is consistent and good quality content. We want to make sure that everything we're posting is fact-checked and is helpful for the people that are going to be accessing them, and a reliable source that people can come back to over time and be able to learn more and more and more.
We also wanted to focus on expanding our community partners. I'm from Brockton and Alyssa's from Worcester. We wanted to make sure that we're directly collaborating with members in our community so that these people who are accessing the resources can reach out directly within their environments.
We hope to find ways to make these videos more accessible for all people. So that is our new takeaway project for this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have you ever thought about expanding on the languages that you could be showing?
So we do want to, like in the future, but we just aren't really fluent in any other languages. I personally speak Spanish natively, so it's already kind of easy for me. But in the future, we are hoping to like collaborate with other community partners and like expand maybe the captions at least. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Layla, and my project is on culture
Boston Prep, and I joined the cultural counseling team to improve learning with the underclassmen. I spend one class period each day to help them get to class on time and share why it's so important to stay in class. We noticed that a lot of students skip class or they're in the hallways, and we wanted to let them know like why education is so important. I always tell them that it starts off with 9th grade. I also share like my personal experience because I am applying to colleges. I wish I like could go back and change my grades. I never had someone like personally like explain like the steps on why it is so important. So yeah, next slide. And we basically decreased the amount of people in the hallways, and I like built relationships with the underclassmen. I don't talk to a lot of people in school, so it's nice when, you know, I'm having a bad day and they come up to me and say, oh, hi, and stuff like that. But yeah.
Could you give maybe one personal example of where you think you made an impact?
I think personally, I have this one, I would say peer, who she like, I don't know, she would never want to go to class. She was always in the hallways, and I just told her like, cause she wants to become, she wants to become a nurse, but I told her like the steps, because me personally, I want to become a nurse, but I told her the steps are to start in class. For me personally, I feel as if school education isn't, how do I explain? Like with me, I never wanted to be in class because it wasn't what I wanted to learn, but I mean, that is how school is, and I would say I try to tell her she should like switch to a vocational school where it's like she can learn what she wants to learn, because not being in class just impacts her grades or going down.
Good for you.
Is there any way to pick up this kind of activity after you're gone from school?
I hope they continue with hall monitors. We do it like, I don't know what periods they do them in, but our school used to be a prep, well, our school is a prep school, but I think over like when COVID happened, they like were lenient with the rules, so it's like people don't wear uniform or like they don't stay in class personally. I don't know why, but I wouldn't really know how to continue it. That is a good question, and I'll look for the more about it.
Hi, my name is Catherine, and my project was helping the homeless. So I live in Brockton, and the local homeless shelter is father lives in Main Spring. So I went on their website and I searched up like what they needed, like, because as you know, like when certain people like they do stuff for the homeless shelter, it's usually food, but food isn't the only thing that homeless people need. So I tried to get like toiletries and other essentials that they would need. The reason I did it is because, as you know, Brockton is very populated with homeless people, and it's hard to see them on the street because you don't know what they're going through, and they don't have the things that we have, and the everyday needs that we had, they don't get. So what I did is I used my community and I collected around $200 worth of items for the people, and so they could have like hygiene products and just other essentials like socks. It's cold, like so I got like blankets, new sheets, and stuff like that. And the impact, like when I brought it, like they were just very happy, and to see everybody smile, and to see all the things, see them with the stuff that they don't have on a daily. It was nice to give them to the people.
So you delivered them yesterday?
Yeah, I delivered them yesterday.
So how was that?
So I didn't get to go to the actual like home, like the mainspring home, but I brought it to the administration office. And the ladies at the front desk, they were like very grateful, and they said that after COVID, like not a lot of people had been donating because it's just hard to get there, and they don't have a lot of like people groups that bring stuff anymore. And like they do food drives, but it's not the same as like stuff they need on a daily basis. So they were very happy. And they said that it doesn't, not everything is gonna go to Father Bill's because there's other relatives that contact them that are in need of certain items as well. So that was really good to hear that it's not just gonna go to one place, it's gonna go to like many people.
My name's Naya.
My name is Destiny.
My name is Leah. So for our project, we donated food to tackle hunger and starvation in our community.
So for our project, we are creating food baskets to deliver to Father Bill's, which is a homeless shelter that provides a safe space for those in need and also provides food. It'll be April 29th, no, April 30th. We're doing it, and we'll be providing like sandwiches, apples, and like cookies and brownies that are homemade as like a kind of dessert.
We chose Father Bill's because, we chose Brockton not only because we live there, but because homelessness is a very big issue in our community, and it's almost neglected because it's so common, so people just brush it off like people aren't there. But we noticed that and we wanted to help. So as far as Father Bill's, we chose them because the last time we did service with them, they didn't have any food for the residents. So we wanted to keep them in mind and make sure that our members of our community are well. The impact we hope to make is that there's enough food for everyone, so no one has to be hungry. And we want to help Father Bill's continue to positively impact people's lives and to help individuals in the community with stuff, they can't help themselves with.
You guys think you could, like, after you guys graduate, you think that you'd be able to expand with helping Father Bill's?
I think that there's always stuff to do because there's always people in need.
What inspired you guys to do this?
Can you repeat the question?
What inspired you guys to help out the homeless?
Well,
I live on the east side where there's a lot of homeless people. There's faces I recognize over there, and there's also my father's friend lives there too. He lives under the bridge and stuff like that. So there's people there that we know, or we've had people I've known people in the past, family who's been homeless and stuff like that. And it's just, there's a lot of homeless people about me. It's very sad.
Hi, I'm Taz, and my project was a clothing drive for the Family Life Center. So I started off with networking with people from the YMCA because my mom used to work there, and they actually started up the shelter. So first I networked with her, and I found out that she was doing a project like this, but with feminine hygiene products at the same place. So we kind of worked hand in hand with each other. So after we figured out what we was gonna do, I talked to like the staff at my school, and I made a flyer, and like twice a week we would do announcements on the intercom, and I started getting a lot of donations. This was supposed to happen like in February, but then we started getting a lot of donations from schools and from like other schools because the flyer just got out. I chose to do this because before, a while ago, my stepfather used to work with the shelter before he passed. And I feel like I've seen work that he's done, but because I was younger, I couldn't really help. And now I'm able to help, so now I wanna do stuff. Since we got so many donations, I haven't been able to donate them yet, but I plan on doing it this weekend. And it's just given to the less fortunate. Any questions?
Considering that you got, it sounds like you got more donations than you expected. It sounds like you went really well. Is this something you plan on continuing?
Is this something I can do? Yes. Actually, the lady I worked with, the lady I networked with, Lauren, she actually does other volunteering, and I plan on volunteering with her and helping with her project to actually expand it.
So why do you think you got more than you anticipated?
Because I personally knew the people I was impacting, and I feel like people don't really want to help people they don't know a lot of the time. So if you know the people, I feel like they're more invested to help.
Hello, my name is Kalia Rosser. I go to Boston Collegiate.
Hi, my name is Kayla Rosser. I also go to the same school as her.
So what we did for our project was we were raising awareness for the Iron Bill, and the Iron Bill is it's like having free access. It's like having free access for mental hygiene products in prison shelters in schools in Massachusetts. So what we did, first we had to talk to our dean and principal, and they both said that we could do it. Like it was a go for us. So we set up a table we set up a table in the connector, and then we kind of switched to the first hallway in our school. And so we made a flyer, which is it's on the next slide. It's not yet, but it's a flyer, and if they signed a petition to support the Iron Bill, they got a snack, and there was cookies, chips, and lollipops. So and it took place from April the 11th on Monday to April 13th, which is a Wednesday. And Monday it didn't really work because supposedly there was no snack time, so nobody said nothing to us, so we didn't know. So but it was very much a lot of people on the Wednesday, which was really great. And there's a lot of seniors though, but I was hoping more younger kids. But it was okay. It was still a great outcome. But
So why we did this was to raise awareness to menstrual hygiene products for women because it's not like a lot of people, not a lot of people, but how should I say it? Like people in government, it's considered as a luxury product and not a necessity. So we wanted to raise awareness to be like, this is not really a necessity because not women, it's not a luxury for having a period. All women out there though, it's not luxury.
Yeah.
Bad. And we wanted to raise awareness to this because like women's health is not really talked about in schools. You know, when we're learning about health, we mostly learn about like, you know, their bodies, but nobody really talks about like women's period and like what goes on. So we just wanted to bring awareness to this in schools and in high schools.
Yes, and also that's the flyer, you know, we just put like a little bit information that we found from like, you know, articles and, you know, like, articles and resources, so, yeah. The impact that we had is like, you know, that our peers now know about this, about the IM bill, and about like the issues that like it's affecting our community, and they can now, you know, take that information and go talk about it with their friends, families, and just like, you know, people that they know. So, yeah. Any questions?
When you start putting like more flyers out and like the middle school side and stuff like that?
Yeah.
If you could do this again, differently, what would you do?
If I could do this again differently, at least for me, I would, you know, I think I would make this like an after school type of project where like people can come and learn about the Iron Bill, but we can also have discussions about it and like, you know, why it's not actually free in the first place, which it should be free for like women, but yeah.
I'm Roman Roberts, and I go to Bedford High.
Alright, I got a question. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Alright, my name is Wanye, and I go to Academy of Pacific Rim.
So our plan was to have like a talk with our grade in the school, and we both did 11th grade. So we would go to a classroom or a small gathering to really speak to the kids, because I feel like a bigger group would be more harder and people wouldn't be as engaged because they would feel like distracted by peers. And at the beginning of the speech, we like had Google Forms for them to answer, so we could see feedback before and after our speech to see if we really made an impact.
The importance about talking to the youth was to like make sure that they know like what type of paths are going on after high school or like during high school. One of the talks I had with the juniors from my school was that sports isn't the only way out of like sports isn't the only way out. I gave them examples such as you can do like trade schools, you can go to community college, you can do anything you really set your mind to. One thing that a student actually told me that stood out to me was, like, even though that, like, yeah, they're an athlete, but they wasn't going to college to be an athlete. They were going to college to focus on the actual major that they wanted to focus on.
So I feel like we had a good impact on the small groups that we talked to, because after they asked us questions and we answered them, and they seemed really engaged into the speech, and they weren't really like distracted or going to the bathroom during the presentation. And the poll showed that the information that we said was useful, because before, teachers at my school, they're there to help you only if you apply yourselves, and some kids like don't have the support system to apply themselves. And like here in C5, like we have that support system, and we've learned that through like all the 5 years that we're here. and we try to like implement that on the kids that don't have the opportunity to join C5 and to have the same experiences.
How do you guys choose which topic you're going to discuss when you're talking to the
Can you repeat that one more time?
How did you decide on which topic to discuss with you're going to talk to the students?
We kind of like discussed it because, like, I can say for my school, we like talk about like the same situation, like almost every day, like we kind of like mix it up. But we chose to like one of the main topics was like, where do you see yourself, or do you see yourself successful after high school? Majority of them said yes because they want to progress with their life and move on, try to help other people. So that was the main response.
Hi, my name is Chad.
I'm Ilza. We did a project, we did the comfort project on making students in our community feel comfortable in whatever they're doing, and yeah.
We decided that we were gonna bake cookies and give them out to our friends and students in our own community with little quotes saying you can do whatever you want on it, without anybody's opinion. Me being an athlete at a predominantly white school, playing a predominantly white sport, it was hard for me to fit in at first, but through my challenges, I figured out like I'm gonna do me, like I'm gonna like keep going, and I've had success with that. Will now be playing my sport in college lacrosse.
The reason why we did this is from personal experience, seeing him like playing lacrosse and being the only student of color. Like I see the struggles in other sports too, not just his sport, but we want like our community to feel comfortable in what they're doing and not to feel like they're like being judged or watched.
We also gave these students people to talk to about it. Us delivering these cookies to them gave them people to actually see change, like for them to be able to go up to them and be like, hey, this is what's going on, and I could talk to them about that in my perspective, and they could take that. So the impact we chose, the impact that happened was a lot of people that we delivered these cookies to and thought they saw the quotes, they want to start their own things like clubs and different types of things that they weren't comfortable doing before in our own school. So, yeah.
What kind of challenges was there like doing this project?
Getting our message across. We wanted people to get the right message. So with that, we had to like figure out what type of quotes we wanted, like from certain people around the world. Like we found quotes on the internet, so it was kind of hard to find exactly what we wanted to say in somebody else's words, basically.
Hey everyone, my name is Matt, and my medallion project was to tutor some of my classmates in algebra. As you can see, I covered a pretty wide variety of topics, including but not limited to FOILing, factoring, functions, exponent rules, and polynomials. I know that math is a lot of people's least favorite subject, and a lot of you are probably wondering, why would I ever want to teach it? It's pretty simple for me, because I'm good at it, and my classmates, they need help sometimes, and the least I can do is provide that help. As far as I know, every single person I tutored is passing this class. So they're all pretty thankful, but that's not really why I did it. The best feeling throughout the entire year was probably knowing that I did a good thing for them.